We are Odyssey Group 5, and I'm going to talk about plot summary about Odyssey. Menelaus wants to learn how he can finally return home after the Trojan War, so he follows a goddess' advice and hides with his men under sealskins near the shore. When the sea god Proteus comes ashore and falls asleep among his seals, they suddenly capture him. Proteus tries to escape by transforming into many different forms, including a lion, a dragon, warrior, and a tree, but they continue to hold him until he gives up. Proteus then tells Menelaus that he must return to Egypt and make sacrifices to the gods before he can safely sail home. He also explains what happened to several Greek heroes after the war, including Ajax, who drowned because of his pride, and Agamemnon, who was murdered after returning home.
And key expressions found in Odyssey. I'm going to talk about key expressions first. The first word is ambrosia. This is a divine food of gods. It represents the immortality and perfection of Olympians. And the second word is heaven's fast stream of Egypt. This one is a beautiful literary way to describe the Nile River. It shows how the Greeks view the Nile as a gift from heavens. And the third word is portraying an ox in the shambles. It means the powerful metaphor used to describe summons being helplessly and virtually murdered. It emphasized the cruelty and the lack of honor in certain deaths within the story. And the last word is ruined himself by boasting the gods could not drown him. This one is Hubris, perhaps the most important concept in the book. Odysseus ruined himself by boasting that the god could not drown him. This excessive pride of Hubris is what leads to his long and difficult journey as a punishment from the gods. And the next one is advanced literature vocabulary. Then the first word is tallied. This is a count or recorded or calculated. In the epic, many things are tallied, such as the years of Odysseus' journey or number of his fallen comrades. Right. And the second word is prowess. This is exceptional skills or bravery. And especially in the battle, Odysseus is a hero defined by his physical and mental prowess. And the third word is ambuscade. An ambush is a hidden place for surprise attack. This is a more poetic word for an ambush. It refers to hidden place used for surprise attack, a common tactic during the Trojan War. And the third word is stench. It means a strong and very unpleasant smell. This describes these things, and it often used to describe a grim condition of Odysseus' face, such as the cave of Collapus. And the last word is skill. It means slaying or cunning intelligence. Odysseus is famous for his skill using his wit and the disease of outsmart his enemies rather than just using raw strength.
And then I will analyze two important grammatical features found in this passage from the Odyssey: the relative clauses and the participial phrases. Although these structures may seem like simple grammatical devices, Homer uses them strategically to enrich characterization and enhances the flow of the narrative. By examining these features, we can better understand how language contributes to the effectiveness of literary storytelling. And first of all, let us examine the relative clauses. The example is, I took the three men on whose prowess of all kinds I could most rely. And the core meaning of this sentence is simply, I took the three men. However, Homer uses and then expands this idea by adding the relative clauses, on whose probes of all kinds I can most rely. The relative pronoun whose introduce additional information about the man and emphasizes their reliability and capability. Rather than merely stating that he selected three companions, Homer highlights the reason for his choices. This allows readers to gain a deeper understanding of characters and their significance within the story. And in other words, the relative clause serves not only a grammatical function, but also literally one by strengthening characterization. Next is participle, and let us consider the participial phrases. The example is, we waited the whole morning and made the best of it, watching the seals come up in hundreds. The main action is, we walked it the whole morning. The participial phrase, watching the seals come up in hundreds, describe an action occurring simultaneously with the main action. The present participial watching enables Homer to combine multiple action into a single sentences rather than separating them into shorter statements. As a result, the narrative flows more naturally and creates a stronger sense of continuity. So readers are able to imagine the scene unfolding in real time, which makes the description more vivid and immersive. In conclusion, the relative clauses and participial phrase contribute significantly to the effectiveness of the passage. So Homer employs these structures not merely for grammatical accuracy, but as literary techniques that enrich the reader's experiences. Through detailed characterizations, seamless storytelling, and vivid imagery, he transforms a simple sequence of events into a compelling and memorable narrative. Thank you for listening.
From now on, I will introduce literary technique used in Odyssey. First, imaginary. I can find imagery in these parts. Homer utilizes vivid visual and olfactory imagery to depict the repulsive stench of the sealskins and the contrasting divine fragrance of the ambrosia. This sensory detail immerses the audience deeply into the physical reality of the character's ordeal. Second literary technique is simile. In these two sentences, by comparing Proteus lying among the seals to a shepherd among his sheep, Homer illustrates his dominion over the sea creatures. Conversely, comparing Agamemnon's assassination to butchering an ox in the shambles brutally heightens the tragic vulnerability and helplessness of the king at the moment of his death. Third one is personification. By portraying the dawn as a child with rosy fingers, Homer beautifully visualizes the passage of time and the arrival of a new day. Last literary technique I found is foreshadowing and dramatic irony. Agamemnon weeps with joy, fully convinced that he has finally reached safety. However, this serves as a powerful instance of tragic irony and foreshadowing, as the audience is actually aware of the horrific trap and imminent death awaiting him. Lastly, I made an answer of the question, how does Homer use disguise and dramatic irony to shape the audience's judgment of characters? Homer masterfully employs the literary devices of disguise and dramatic irony to create sharp contrast in the characters' moral values, wisdom, and attitudes toward fate. Through this technique, he subtly guides the audience to form distinct moral judgments about each figure. In this episode, Menelaus and his men undergo a humiliating ordeal, concealing themselves under 4 smelling sealskins.
Through this act of disguise, Homer demonstrates that Menelaus possesses the essential heroic traits of patience, humility, and wisdom. Ultimately, Homer uses disguise to praise the virtues of patience and adaptability embodied by the surviving hero, while utilizing dramatic irony to deliver a cautionary tale about how complacency and pride can lead to ruin. Through these devices, the audience is compelled to judge characters based on the ultimate Homeric virtues.
And next, I will talk about the key themes that are portrayed in the Odyssey. In this part of the Odyssey, justice is shown through punishment and consequences. The first example is Ajax. He almost survives after being shipwrecked, but he boasts that even the gods cannot drown him. This proud insults Poseidon, so Poseidon breaks the rock Ajax is sitting on, and Ajax falls into the sea and dies. This shows that justice in the Odyssey often comes from the gods. If a human disrespects divine power, punishment follows. And the second example is Aegisthus. He betrays Agamemnon by inviting him to a feast and killing him when he is not expecting danger. This is unjust because it breaks trust and hospitality. However, Proteus says that Orestes may have already killed Aegisthus. This connects justice with revenge. The crime of Aegisthus does not simply disappear, it creates consequences. Through these examples, justice in the Odyssey is not shown through courts or laws. Instead, it appears through divine punishment, revenge, and moral order. I felt that the poem presents a world where wrong actions eventually return to the person who committed them. Ajax is punished for pride, and Aegisthus faces revenge for betrayal. So, justice in this passage is powerful, but also harsh.
The second theme is perseverance. First, Menelaus shows perseverance by enduring hardship to return home. In the passage, he has been trapped on the island for a long time, but he does not give up. He follows the god Ulysses' plan, hides under the sealskins, and waits for Proteus, even though the smell is very terrible. This shows that his desire to return home is stronger than his fear and discomfort. Second, Menelaus and his men show perseverance by holding Proteus despite his transformations. Proteus tries to escape by changing into many dangerous forms, such as a lion, a dragon, a leopard, a wild boar, running water, and a tree. However, they never let him go. This section clearly shows that determination and patience. Third, Menelaus shows perseverance by accepting a difficult task. Proteus tells him that he cannot go home immediately and that he must return to Egypt first to offer sacrifices to the gods. Menelaus is broken-hearted when he hears this, but he still accepts what he has to do. Therefore, through Menelaus' actions, we can see that perseverance is necessary to overcome obstacles and complete the difficult journey home.